Welcome to this tutorial. Today's tutorial. In this tutorial, we are talking about what are control statements in Java. What are control statements? Let's see what it is. Control statement directs the flow of an execution in Java program, allowing the program to make a decision or repeat an action or change the direction based on the specific condition. A statement which directs the execution flow and allowing to make a decision or repeat an action or change the direction based on the specific condition. Those conditions are called as control statements. Because based on these control statements, the flow of execution in Java program changes. Let's see how each control statements for decision making and decision making repetition and changing the directions or looks like. So let's see first decision making statements. There are a lot of what is a decision making statement. You specifically call decision making control statements. This is controlling the flow based on the decisions. So how what are the types? These statements are used when you want a program to make a decision based on certain condition. As I discussed, what are decision making statements? Are statements used when you want the program to make a decision based on certain conditions. So let's see an example. Okay, first is if if statement is a control statement where it executes a block. What is a block? Executes a block only if the condition is true. If statement is in a condition statement which executes a block only if the condition is true. That is, it takes a decision, makes a decision based on certain condition. It's if it is true. Let's understand what is a block. In a program, each and every statement should be executed. So block of statements, a block means you whatever in kept inside this brackets, upper bracket and less smaller bracket, a single open brace and a end brace, all the statement inside this single open bracket and left parenthesis, right parenthesis is called as a block. So you can execute a program will execute everything. If there is no if statement, it will execute this one properly. But here a if statement is in a conditional statement which makes the decision based on the condition, which conditional statement is a statement which directs the control of flow based on the conditions. So if so let's see if how it works. It will evaluate first this execution is this expression is correct. If the temperature is greater than 25, if it is true, then it execute this block. This is the block what we are specifying. You can write as many statements. Here only one statement is there. You can keep 2 or 3 statements. It will execute all the statements in the block. So deciding whether to display a hot weather alert. So for example, this is a single example. So let's see if the temperature is 30 in this condition. In this case, temperature is greater than 25. Yes, it's true, so it will execute it is hot. So this is like if statement. So the problem is, let's see this thing in real world. What is the output of this? You can use this like for if the temperature is 20, 30, 30, what is the output is greater than true. Yeah, the 30 is greater than 25. It's hot. It has the program has initialized the temperature to 30 and check whether the temperature is greater than 25. Yes, it is true. So it entered this is it is hot. Hot in outside is the output. If you keep it is less than 25, what happens is 20. We don't know what's happening it. So the output is 0. Output is nothing. You don't see any output for this execution because this condition is not true. We didn't kept any statements to execute it, so we don't know whether it is less or not. We don't have it. So next is if else statement. it executes a block if the condition is true, otherwise it runs the else block. Here similarly, it's like first it execute, if the condition is true it execute this block, if block what is a block to the if, else it execute the block outside else block. This is called as if block, is starts from here to here is called as if block. This is else block. So if the statement, if the condition is true, it executes if block, else it executes the else block. That is, executes one block if the condition is true, otherwise runs the else block. If the condition is not true, it will execute this else block. Let's see the example for this. Like, see, it gives you clarity. Like, if the age of a person, let's assume, let's create a variable of age 16. If age is greater than 18, you can vote. If the age is less than 16, you cannot vote. That is what it means. So let's see, we keep it 16 and check it. That means if this condition fails, in previous case we don't have anything to display. Here we have, since the condition is failed, we are this else is being executed. You are too young to vote. If you keep 18 or 19, if it is more than that, this condition, if condition is if condition is if condition is true, then you say you can vote. Either this is like if you have two conditions, either this or that, this is the best case for thing. So that if it is temperature is greater, you can say temperature is greater, it is hot, else it is cold, like that. So this is what if else if condition statement and if else condition statement. Next we'll see if else ladder. Thing is, it's similar to if else, used to test multiple condition. In previously we used to test only one condition, like one if condition, and else means default one. Here if you want too many conditions, like if in this case you have a marks greater than 90, you make this if else condition, like if one else, and if again if else, and again if else. That's a final. If else is an if else ladder, like a ladder. First if and its else condition, and here again else if else if ladder, else if ladder. That is if and else if condition, and again else if. At last you need to have an else condition. This is a syntax how you make it. You can add as many else if condition here 1 2 3 is there. You can add 4 or 5, but starting should be if. Next every if else if should be, else if ladder should be there. At last one else condition should be there. What happens is, it checks this condition. If condition is true, it will evaluate this. If not, it will check this condition, it will evaluate this. Else it check this condition, evaluate this. If any one of this condition is true, that will be printed. Or if any one of this thing is not true, it will execute this fail. Let's see this example. If else ladder, Control Z. No, wait a minute, we have okay, Control C. We'll execute this one. Let's see in detail how it works. See, we have a marks 78. We graded it. If marks is greater than 90, you have A. If it is greater than 75, it is B. It is greater than 60, it is C. If it is not any one of them, so let's keep 78 and run it. It says it checks this condition, it is false, then it executes this conditions. If checks it's this condition, if this condition is true, yes, it printed this and left all this flow. Suppose you want to make this condition to satisfy this one, you make it 65, 65. If this is 65, you run it. This if condition goes is if first checks first this condition, it is not this, so it checks this condition, it's execute not this. If this checks this condition, if 65 is greater than 60 or 65, yes, yeah, marks is 60, marks greater than 75, it is not greater than 75, so this is creating grade C, and it doesn't execute the else here. If we keep it 55, which doesn't satisfy the any one of the thing, 55 is greater than not greater than 90, 55 is not greater than 75, 55 is not greater than 60, you will see here now 55, when you run it, now this else condition will be there. That is, if any one of the condition is fails, the last else will be we will execute this last else will be executed. So now if the condition is 55, so nothing will stay, so the else condition, last else condition is executed. That is this, if any one of condition is true, the corresponding block will be executed, else the else block will be executed, similar to if and else, but you have more conditions here, that's only different. Next is switch statement. This is similar to this one, this syntactically similar, is a format used for multiple exact value check, easier to read up, like multiple if else statement, like this one. This is like you need to write if and else if and if else if and if else if. The simplified format is like this, like a switch marks. Here you can into marks, you can keep mark case 1 is system of dot, if it is case 65 75, like a case here 1 is not case 1, it's the value, the day here is 4, the day value is if the case, the syntax should be like this, like you need to write a case and a value. Here 4 means you check the possible values 1 2 3 4, any one of the thing. So here 1 means you need to write Monday, this last statement logic based on your requirement. So let's see this how it execute. First we have a value, we give to a switch statement. In the switch statement, if it checks this one, if it's satisfied, it prints the statement and execute this, stop executing. The break statement will stop executing and it will go to the go out, that's all. If it is checks it second, if it is second statement, it execute. If no statement is executed, default will be executed, like similarly to if no conditions is satisfied, else will be returned. So let's see this in outputs, like it's similar to the if else statement, but in a syntax is different. For example, see here it's like more concise, like for example we write marks, day not marks, marks is 65 65. If you keep here, you need to say greater than 65 if it is like exact values. So if the mark is, so that is conditional, you cannot use here conditions, you need to have specify exact values. If it is 10, if it is 10 20 20, you cannot use the same example for that one as here, but it's like you need to all possible values. So so you cannot keep greater than 30, let's like that. You can have a specific value, for example you can time, you have time, right? Time is 1 o'clock, 1, you keep it 4, it is, you can keep 1 2 3, like this. You can keep add as many statements, control Z, you can keep as many cases, should not have repeated 1 2 3, after that 4 5 or 53 53 second, like 52 second, 4 second, 53 second, 55 second. It checks exact value and invalid something. And if you keep 4, this 4 will be executed, this statement will be executed, printed, Let 3 seconds, 4 seconds. For possible values, so one of the possible values you need to check this one, either it is limited, you cannot have greater than less than conditions. 2 seconds, okay, 53 seconds, 55 seconds, 55. Okay, based on your requirement, if you have invalid second, no, 8 seconds, okay. 4 second means if you run it, it's execute this 4 seconds. The case is 1 minute, it shows some errors which day. Now here we change the day to time, so here we need to change the time. Okay, now we run it. If you run it, we see that if it is 4, it is 4 seconds. That is, it check this statement case 1. Case 1 means first case, not it check the case, this case, whether the time is valued to 1. No, it's not 1, it's 2. If it is 2, no. If it is 3, no. If it is 4, yes, it is 4, then it wrote 4. Else it will check all the statements even below as well. Since if you add the break, it will stop checking the rest of the cases. If nothing, if 56 is not there in his case, so you can 56, if you write it and run it, it checks every statements, and it's not the end statement will be executed, that is invalid second. That is, it checked this one, it's not true, it continues to executing checking this statement, it's not true, and it continues to check this statement, it's not true. And likewise at the end, this also it checks the last statement, this is not true, then it prints it executes a default statement. So default will be executed if any one of the case will, if any one of the case is not if all the case is not matching, not satisfying. So this is what switch statement. The difference between if else and if it is, you can execute a condition, but here used for multiple exact value checks. Yeah, switch if condition is, you can keep the same if condition if if marks is equals to 71, 72, 73. Here it is more flexible that we can quantify ranges or any conditions, you can use it. But here you used to check exact values, multiple exact value matches like 1 or 2. If it is 1 to 3 week days of the week are 7, 1 2 3 1 some Monday, Tuesday, like this, you can define some your logic and execute for single multiple values check used for multiple exact values. Okay, next we talk about looping statements. Looping statements or means a conditional statement. It is also a conditional statement which directs the which directs the program to repeat a block. A conditional statement which directs the code to repeat a block of code as long as the condition is true. That is called looping statements. For example, it is used to repeat a block of code as long as the condition is true. So conditional statement, loopings. Okay, let's see an example. For loop, there are many types of looping statements, like to repeat a block of code. For example, you want to repeat this for multiple times, you can use for loop. For loop, the syntax for loop is this, like for, you have a for initial statement, initial condition, and this is like initialization for it I value, you initializes the I value of 1, then it checks the condition. If I then checks the condition, if the condition is true, for I less than checks the condition true, then it execute the statement. If the condition is true, execute the statements, then it goes increments the value, then increments the I value to 1. I plus plus means it increases the value from I what the value of initially it is I, it increases the value to 2, then it checks the condition. If it is 2 is less than 5, its condition is true, then it execute the statement again. That is, this block is repeated from when I is equals to 1 to 5 times. Here I is starting from I and equal to 5, I is equals to 1, it executes, I is equals to 2, it executes, I is equals to 3, it executes, I is equals to 4, it executes, I is equals to 5, like that 5 times it executes. That is, when number of iteration is known, means we want to execute 10 times, you keep this one value I is equals to 10. What happens is first initialize value to 1, then next checks the condition whether it is I is less than this condition. If it is true, then it is execute this statement. Then at the end of the statement, it goes here and increment the value of I from 1 to 2. Then after incrementing this, it checks the condition again. If the condition is true, it it, it executes the statement. And at the end of 5 6, like this ways, it execute the statement. If the condition is true up till 5, it is true. It will, when how many times the condition is true, it execute the statement. Now we assume that it is 5. From 5, the statement goes here, it increases to 6. From then it checks the condition 6. If 6 is less than 5, no, it's not true, then it stops, then it executes this loop. So the for loop is used to repeat. We are repeating this statement 5 times, 2 times, 10 times, any times based on the value we keep it here. So this is called as a loop condition. Number of iteration, if you know exactly you want to repeat for 10 times, you keep it 10. You keep it, if you want to 6 times, you keep it 6. This is the best thing to do it. This loop statement, let's see what's the output in real world. See here, let's create the statement for loop. The syntax is here. For initializing a variable, first we need to have a variable to increase that one, then a condition. First it is initializing the I to 1, then it checks is less and it executes the statement hello 1. Next it increments to I plus plus, means by increasing the value by 1, I will be 2. Then it checks the condition 2 is less than 3, it will goes execute this statement again. Likewise it goes for 5 times. When I is equals to 5, it execute this one, and after that 6, it will breaks. This condition is not satisfied, then it stops. So see here, for I is equals to 1, it will say hello 1. I is equals to 2, it say hello 2, hello 1, hello 2, hello 3, hello 4, hello 5. After 5, the condition has break. If you want to execute this for 7 times, you keep here 7. You keep here 7. So it repeats this condition for 7 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you want, if you know the fixed time, fixed number of times you want to repeat in a logic, this can be a helpful thing. Okay, now you understood how the for loop works. Okay, next, while loop. This is also like a for loop similarly, but here the syntax is different. Syntax like here, for I is equals to 1, we are initializing the value of I is equals to 1. When number of iteration is not fixed and the condition is checked before the loop run. Okay, let's see the difference between this. What it says is, while loop is used when number of iteration is not fixed. This one is used when number of iteration is known. We know the number of iterations. So if it is 10, means we do this thing. For I is equals to 0 and to 10, I is equals to 1 to 10, you want 10. If the number of iteration is not known, we need to use this kind of logic. So we don't know how many iterations you need to do it. So based on this, similarly we initialize this one. While the condition, we keep a condition I less than or equal to 3, you need to print it and increment this. I don't seem different, it is same. When number of iteration not fixed and the condition is checked before the loop runs. Okay, here also condition is checked while before the loop runs. Okay, so similar, it feels like similar. So initializing, first we are initializing outside and we checking the same. It's if I is I less than or equal to 3, means it also same. For I checks, it execute this for 3 times. Step is checks the condition. If the condition is true, it execute this block. At the end of the block, we are incrementing to the I to 1 value. same. So the difference, I don't see any difference, but it's a different format, but they produce the same results. So if you keep I is equals to 3, it executes 3 times. If it is 4, it execute this 4 times. Let's see the output. I don't see any difference. See, we keep it here 3, it runs 1 2 3, same. Only way it is different is the format way you look at. If you want to run it for 10, same. Okay, if you want to, yeah, the one difference is you can increase the steps. There I plus plus we have it, there only you can use I plus plus, but here you can increase I is equals to I plus 2. For example, you can increase in 2 steps. I is equals to uh, okay, sorry, I have a different keyboard. Okay, if I is equals to, where are we? Yeah, I equal to I plus 2. Okay, that means you are increasing the step by 2 steps. You can have 5 steps here. If it is I is equals to 1, next 3 5 7, 1 3 5 7 9, this can be possible here, but the same thing can be possible, I don't know, but I don't feel so both are same. The result is same. Okay, next we understood a while loop. Next is do while. Do while is similar to while, but thing is here in while loop you first check the condition and execute the loop, but in do while first you execute this block then check the condition. The difference between while loop and do while is this while loop will, if no condition, if the condition is not satisfied, it doesn't execute this start block. Here, even if this condition is not satisfied, it execute one time. First it execute, then checks the condition. While loop checks the condition first. If it is true, then only execute it. Do while first execute this statement once and runs, then checks the condition. But the condition is checked after the first execution, so the block runs at least once. That's what it means. Do while will run one time, at least one time. While loop will not run one time if the condition is not satisfied, but do while thing is first it executes the statement once, then you run the condition, then check the condition. Similar to that one, while and this, but thing is the way it checking the condition either first or last. If you do while is you keep while here and statement and check while this condition is true, like this here. While the condition is true, it executes it. If not, if no condition is not satisfied, it doesn't execute anything. Here it executes first it executes the statements, then it checks the condition. If the condition is true, then it will execute again until the condition is fails. If the condition fails, it stops. Similar to do while and do while. Next, breaking statements. We have used we have seen looping statements. Now the branching statements. Branching statement control the flow of execution inside a loop or method. This statements controls the flow of execution inside a loop. What do you know means loop is for loop. Inside the for loop or inside the while loop or inside the what do you call do while, these statements inside the switch also, These statements can be used for to control the execution flow inside the loops or methods. Methods means switch methods. We know we will discuss methods in later, but here you can see how this one. First branching statement is break statement. This is used to exit a loop or a switch prematurely. We saw in the case we have, for example, this statements for loop will this loop. In this loop, if you want to break it after 3, then means 1, 2 and 3. If the condition 3 is met, it stops executing this one. Later the 3, normally this condition should run for 5 iterations, like for int I is equals to from 1, 2 and 3. After 3 it starts break condition breaks the flow. Previously without break it will execute for 5 times. Using break, it will stop when the condition is met. When a break statement will exit the loop, that means it stops the loop for a loop when the condition is met. Let's see that one with loop and without, with break and without break. See, here without break. Let's comment this one. This is like this is the syntax for commenting a single line comment. We need to forward slash will comment this statement. This statement, comment statements are not executed. So when you run this, it will run print 1 to 5 lines, 1 2 3 4 5. That is condition 1. It checks the condition. There is no statement. There is no statement, like no statement. If you see, let's see now, see the result. It is 1 2 3 4 5. That means all 1 2 3 and 4 5 are executed. Now when you remove this, if the condition is 3, so that first 1 2 and 3 is true, that means it prints 1 2. Next 3, at the time 3, it checks the condition is 3, but if it 3 it stops. So here you can see at 2, here the output will be 1 will be printed, 2 will be printed, and the 3 it will stop. That means from 3 4 5 will not be printed. So the output will be 1 and 2. Let's run it. That is the break statement stops the execution of the loop. That means if the loop without break it continues for 5 times. With break it stops the execution of the loop when a condition is met. That means if 5 times should be repeated, it is stopped at third instant. Third, when I is equals to 3, where break condition is true. When a break is applied, it's not continuing the fourth, third loop, fourth loop, fifth one. 3 4 5 is not shown. That's it execute this break statement exits the loop. That's what it says. Used to exit a loop or a switch. We can use it for break or switch as well. In the switch, we can see in the switch, like here, when a condition switch, you use a break, that is to execute. Not when you when this condition is met, this break is executed. When the break is executed, these 3 conditions 1 2 3, case 2, case 4, case default will not be executed. That's what the thing it means. Okay, next we saw break statements. This is used to stop the processing when a condition is met. Users cancels. Okay, next, continue statement. The continue statement skips the current iteration of the loop. For example, a continue means it skips the current iteration. Break will stop when you reach 3. It will stop 3 4 5 until 5. All the 3 will be there. It will the continue will skip one iteration. That condition, if I is equals to 3, it will skip the third one. That means 1 2 will be printing, 3 will be skipped, and 4 and 5 will be printing. Let's see, that's the thing. Continuous statement skips the current iteration. Iteration means one round is called as iteration. When is I is equals to 1, it is iteration 1. When I is equals to 2, it is iteration 2. When I is equals to 3, it is called as iteration 3. I is equals to 4, it is called fourth iteration. When I is equals to 5, it is called fifth iteration. So it skips the current iteration. Means if I is equals to 3 means it skips the third iteration. That means 3 will not be printing. So let's see that in this tutorial. So instead of here break, here continue, continue, continue. Let's see, we know, let's see how it works without this statement and with this statement. Okay, see, we see this one will be for loop will be as assigned starting from 1 to 5. It will print 1 2 3 5 times it is executing it. If you continue it, you see the difference. Like if it is 1, it true, 1 and 2 will be printed, 3 will be skipped out, and 4 and 5 will be printed. 1 2 3 skipped, 4 and 5. The break statement does is it will stop the loop itself. It will stop the loop itself. That is, after 3 makes break will exit the for loop. That means it will not go for next iteration like I is equals to 4 or 5. Here continue means it will skip that iteration. That means 1 2, actually normally 1 2 3 4 5 should be there. When the condition is met, it skipped that one round, that execution part. Next again it's continuing the rest of the things. Break will stop all the others from that condition. From 3 4 5, break will remove all the items. Continue will skip only the one, that round iteration, that iteration number 3, whatever condition. If it is 4, it will print 1 2 3, and fourth will be skipped and fifth will be running. See, 1 2 3, next fourth will be skip the fourth one and fifth one. If you keep break, it will show 1 2 3. From 4 and 5 will be removed. Break. Yeah, 1 2 3 4 and 5 remaining all will be removed in breaks. Okay, that's what break and continue statement. Let's see what next is return statement. Return statement is okay. Yeah, first of all, return statement stops the method. This is what a method is. Method is main method, public static void main is there. Int is a method. We'll discuss methods in details in classes. The syntax for method is you have it's an access modifier. Public is an access modifier. Static is a return type of the value static. Int is static. Method is called, if a method is static, we need to declare static. We will discuss what are static methods in later. Int is a return type of a method. This is an add is a method name. Int is a return type of this method. This method returns a value of int, and this int a, int b is a parameter. We'll define the details of what is a method, what are its syntax. So consider this is a method. How a method is defined: a method name add, it has parameters a and b, and it returns a value of int return value. It returns a int value. This is a static method, and it is accessible public. It is accessible to public. This is the signature of a method. So return statement ends the method execution and optionally returns a value to a caller. That means if you want, this method needs a return, it should be there. If you execute this method in any one of the statement, if a condition is met, it will stop the this condition. It will stop the block and returns the value. Returns a plus b means if you give a plus b, it returns 4. 2 plus 3 means 2 plus 3 5. It will returns 5. That's what this method says. Let's see this one, an example. Main method is a return. This is a method. No, methods are declared not inside not main. Okay, here we define outside this main method. You have a public method add. So if you add system out print add, this is what calling a method. Add 1 plus 1 comma 2. This is how you are calling the method. uh, this is a method. We declare the method in add method. We are, that is here we are calling the add method. We have a int a, two variables a and b are two variables. You need to pass it. It returns the addition of two methods. So this should print 3 plus 1 4. C4. Okay, what it happens is this method calls this method calls this is a method calling. You're calling the add method. The method we define here, it's like a method how it should do, what its parameters, and it returns int. So here int is a return type. If you want a string of this one, str string, you can send a plus b string value. It will print string 3, string 4. It's not compatible, so you need to compat what we learned from string dot value of string dot value of. If we keep here, this is what we learned in the previous chapters. You can return a string value of 4, that is a 4 string. It is a string 4, or you can return some value, some string value, true not, that is a boolean. I don't want to mix with all the others. Apple, you can see the return. It returns whatever you give it. It returns whatever return apple. That is, the return type of method is string, so you need to return a string only. If the return type is int and you return apple, it shows an error that it's not compatible, like the return type is not apple. That's an error. Incompatible types, the string cannot be converted to int. That is, we are returning expecting the method is expecting an int value, but we are returning an apple. That's wrong. So if a return type is int, you should return int. If a return type is string, you need to return a string. So that's how it return will stop executing this block and returns a value optionally. Like you can keep anything string, but you can leave return nothing. You can return this returns error, but this kind of if nothing is returned, you need to keep void. Void is the return type of when a method doesn't returns anything, it is kept as void. See, you can run. That means it execute when a return statement is executed, it goes there. What print. Okay, so here it's we expecting something, because void is in a void means nothing. System out dot println void add add 1,2 that says that the void type is not allowed in system.out.println. Print should need some value, whatever it may be, but it should not be void. So here, okay, now we can see that you call here expected print okay 99. Okay, nothing, because okay, error is not suitable method print no arguments. So we need to write here some mandatory print should a return test. Yeah, this will works right now. Add 1 2 3. That means system.print means you need something to print. If you return void, it will turns error. We saw that a void is not a valid input of system.print, and if you don't keep anything, it will shows error. It should have some parameters print, but if you add, that means the condition executes here and return back, but if you want to check this one, you can see whether it is going inside this one. You can keep print statement here, control C, return inside add. Now you can see that from here it goes to this method and execute this inside add, then return test. Then you can use println, so that the next line println is to, here we saw it in single line, println will goes to, keeps it in a new line. So inside end is, so what happened is it started calling this method add123. It goes to this method, inside it executed this line inside add, then it returned back here, then executed this step. So in order to break, return is used to break the flow and what you call you want to return. For example, you can understand this one more time. Inside return, with return and without return, you can check. That is here inside add, before with return, without return. Okay, inside add statement 1, statement 2, statement 2. If you keep return, this statement is skipped, this statement 2 is skipped, otherwise this statement should be a return. So let's see with return without return. See here, see now this method add goes the flow goes to the add method 1 to 3. In this method we have two statements. This statement is executed. See, inside add 1, that statement 1 is executed and statement 2 is executed, since there is no return. So return skips the what did we say? This is return method, return statement ends the method execution and optionally returns a value to the caller. Optionally returns a value means if it is void, you don't need to return. If it is int, you can return you should return int value. That's what. If there is no return, it execute all the statement. If a return, it stops the execution of the block. See, now we can see when you add return, only one statement is written. What happened? System.out.println error unreachable statement. Okay, that means unreachable statement means, yeah, that's what, we cannot reach this statement. From here it got written, this statement is unreachable, so we need to include in what you call try catch. Let's see condition. It's a conditional break. Okay, so that's not be the right case. What happens is when you execute a return, it will stop that path, stop, it will return from the moment when return is applied. It stops and returns the value optionally. That we understood, right? Okay, let's see next. This is return. So we will understand, we'll look into what we have learned till now. We have three types of conditional statement. Decision statement, that is like if, switch, like used for flow control. That means whether should you use if else as well, if else if ladder, and switch statement are for control decision making. And a looping statement, looping is like for loop and while loop. Conditional statement for looping, which is used for repetition. And branching, like break, return, continue, is like continue is also is there. We learned break for stopping, whenever the execution, it will stop the loop execution, and return will stop and return some value, and continue will skip the iteration, not the loop. Break will end the loop, but continue will skip the iteration. You know what is iteration in if for loop we have discussed this. Okay, that's all. Let's see the next next topic in the next video. Thank you very much.